Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of After Hours with Peter Karlovich. I'm Peter Karlovich. Tonight is our Halloween special, and boy, do we have a great bag of call-ins for you. They're all ghost stories tonight, some ranging from utterly spooky to downright hilarious. I think you're going to enjoy them just as much as I will. So let's have a good night and get comfortable. And let's begin. And now we have Macy from New Orleans. Macy, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So we hear you got a ghost story for us.
Yeah. So, I had just moved into my first apartment and it was built in the 1920s in like a very historical part of Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I had kind of had weird feelings before even dating this guy, but I started dating a dude and he like claimed to be sensitive to ghosts and stuff too. And he was like, "Oh yeah, your apartment is totally haunted." And I was like, "Oh, weird." And one night he was over and I woke up in the middle of the night and could feel something like at the end of the bed staring at me. I couldn't see
Oh my god.
anything, but you know that feeling where you can tell someone's just like looking at you. And I
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I woke him up and I was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Yeah, I can feel it too. Like the best thing to do is just ignore it and go back to bed." And I was like, "All right." And so I did. And then the next night I woke up and I could feel it like next to me, like standing
Oh my god.
beside the bed. And I woke him up again and he was just like, "Oh, yeah, just ignore it. Like that's like the best thing to do." And I was like, "Okay." And I just like kept feeling like presences in my apartment. It was just really weirding me out. And my mom was coming to visit me for Thanksgiving and the dude was like kind of basically living with me. And my mom didn't know that. And I was like, "Hey, like you gotta get your stuff and get out." And he was like, "All right." And so he left and I had gone on my laptop and he had left his Facebook open. And I'm not typically like a snoopy girlfriend, but for some reason, something kind of just told me to like look at his messages. And he had been bringing girls to my apartment while I was
Oh,
at school. And I broke up with him after that, obviously. And I never felt any presence in that apartment again.
do you think it was
So
following him?
I maybe that's a possibility I didn't think about, but or it was like a ghost in my apartment building that just like was trying to look out for me, or like a ghost of a loved one trying to look out for me and just be like, "Hey, this dude's disgusting."
Yeah. No kidding. So like
Yeah.
did the presence when it was standing by your bed, did it feel malicious?
Um, Not necessarily malicious, because like I guess I like can't even imagine now like being able to fall back asleep if something like that happened to me again.
Yeah.
But for some reason I was able to. So I feel like in both instances it was like maybe I could somewhat tell that it was like a presence trying to be like help me out and be like, "Hey."
Yeah. It was like an urgent spirit, I guess, right? Like trying to urge you to do something about it, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, or trying to like get him out, like to scare him away, or I'm not really positive. But yeah, definitely something looking out for me.
Wow, I've never heard of a relationship ghost. Like a ghost therapist, you know?
Right? Maybe it was like some really cool like chick that was like trying to be all like feminist and be like, "Hey girl."
I mean, could you feel like kind of an energy one way or the other, like feminine or like, you know, anything like that?
No, it just like was like a very prominent presence. I do remember that. Like it like woke me up out of my sleep is like how hard it was staring at me.
Whoa. Wow. Staring daggers through your soul is what
Right.
they say. Do they say that?
Yeah, something like that probably.
Well, thanks again for calling in.
Thank
Um,
you.
we really appreciate you, and I hope you have a happy Halloween.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Well, thanks again, Macy, for calling in. A ghost warning you about your shitty boyfriend. I've never heard of that one before. So, that's a first for this show, at least. And now, a quick word from our sponsors. Our next guest is Frankie from New York City. Frankie, you're on the air.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thanks for calling in.
Oh yeah.
So, we hear you got a ghost story for us.
Yeah. I got one or two. There was a point where I was dating someone about 5 years ago. It was around this time, actually, around Halloween. It's like a little Halloween party. It's like a friend of hers, some like spooky type of couple that lives in some like renovated, like used to be 1800s mill house, turned into an apartment building complex.
Okay.
And there was a a point where it's party scene, whatever, and then once the party kind of started dying down, we already had the blessing to kind of crash there for the night because we were like out of town, and we went to the room that we were able to crash in just to kind of chill out, talk, whatever.
Yeah.
And at some point, it was pretty quiet. There were like very few people on the opposite end of the whole hallway slash apartment, where we barely heard much noise going on, and all the lights were off except maybe like a little room, like little nightlight. And as we're talking, we heard someone approaching, so we kind of like paused and looked at the door leading to the hallway. It was wide open, and as soon as we heard the person walk up to the door, the footsteps just continued and just continued walking towards us, and it stopped right at the foot of the bed, and we were just kind of dumbfounded, like, huh? Like, we didn't feel threatened, but she was just like, did you hear that? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And then we were just quiet for like another 5 seconds, but it was, I don't know, it felt like it was a casual, like non-threatening, maybe positive experience. And that was kind of cool. I had like other experiences when I was younger, but that was the only one that really stood out.
So, did you feel the presence continue to stay there and like watch you, or did the footsteps just kind of approach you and then that was it?
It was kind of hard to tell. Like, it just kind of arrived, and then we were just like very slightly spooked. Like, not like I'm gonna run out of the fucking room right now, but we were just kind of like looking around the room, like, was it an animal? But we knew it was like
sound like human footsteps.
Yeah. And we had total visual of like at least 10 feet leading up to the bed, so nothing actually approached us.
Yeah, but so would you say you just heard the footsteps, but it didn't feel like there was like an actual presence attached to the footsteps?
Oh no, there was, but
okay.
I don't know. I felt like it may have like dissipated shortly after.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that is fucking terrifying. That'd be a nope from me, honestly. Yeah. I wouldn't be as brave as you were, honestly. I would probably run the fuck out of there.
I mean, honestly, it helps that I was like with someone else. If it like was by myself, I probably would have freaked out much more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, did she feel it too?
Oh yeah, we were just kind of like holding
like both
each
of you, right?
like,
Yeah.
And then we just kind of like talked over it and just like kind of pretended like it didn't happen.
Well, I mean, props to you for just kind of going back to what you were doing anyways.
Yeah.
Again, I don't even think I'd be able to do that. Thanks again for calling in. Have a good night.
You too, man.
That was a lot, wasn't it? We got one more caller, though, so let's see if they can blow my socks off. Caller, take it away.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, how are you, Amanda?
I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. So what can we do for you today?
Well, I was just wondering about things and people on the other side.
In which way?
Well, I mean, my dad, he kind of passed away a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe, and I
Sorry to hear
feel like,
that.
thank you. I feel like is he sending me messages? Is that like a thing? Because I keep seeing these birds.
Huh. So was there a significance when he was alive with birds and him?
Yeah, he used to be a bit of a bird watcher. He probably wouldn't have admitted that to anyone, but yeah.
Interesting. So how often are you experiencing these signs?
I feel like a 2 or 3 times a day. Like
Two or three
kind of
times a
when,
day?
yeah, like in the morning when I wake up, there's like a bird outside my window, or sometimes it's like by my car, and then other times it's at my job, and then I go for a lunch break and I sit there and it sort of like comes and sits next to me, and I don't know what to say. What do I say?
Well, I mean, if you keep feeling it every time, it could very well be your father actually coming back, like, you know, a spiritual presence, for instance, you know, like,
Yeah.
he's sending you signs through the universe and through means that are not, like a form or something. You know what I mean? It seems like it's more of like a scattered kind of, thing going on.
Really?
Um,
That's
I
pretty
mean,
cool. I
yeah.
mean, and I kind of feel something that presence, maybe he's there. I don't know.
Well, if you feel it, I mean, I mean, I believe that you believe it, so I think it's
Yeah.
always, I mean, would you like to interact with it?
I think I maybe want to talk to him, but I feel a bit weird. Is this okay? Is this normal? Am I totally not weird or normal or something?
I mean, fuck it, you called into a paranormal show, so
Uh,
I'm not the authority on this. I don't think it's that weird. I say try it.
I think I might have to because they just keep coming and they're all different types of birds too.
I mean, what do you got to lose, anyways?
Yeah, I guess they'll just say nothing
You
if
know,
they
I
don't.
mean, as long as you don't mind looking like a weirdo, you don't even have to do it in public.
I mean, I was just wondering if you ever tried anything like this before. Like, should maybe I talk to the bird and ask if the bird has any advice, or do I talk to the bird as if it's my dad?
I mean, personally, I've never tried anything like this, but it could be worth a shot. I mean, there's nothing, you know, nothing you got to lose, I guess. But I mean, birds can't really talk, can they? Well, at least English. But I mean,
They make
you
a
know,
lot of noise.
they do make a lot of noise, that is true. But I wonder if you're gonna be able to understand it. But maybe that's kind of the idea, is that you don't have to understand it. If you have this understanding that you think it is your father, then it could very well be. But maybe that's all you need. You don't need an actual answer, yes or no, that that's him or not. Because if you feel it, then, you know, it's real to you. I
Yeah.
mean, have you tried contacting him through, like, let's say a fucking like a seance or something like that? Would you
Seance.
be
I thought of
interested?
that. I definitely was thinking about that. I was like, well, if she's coming in the birds, then maybe he'll come that way too. And I was like, maybe I could just like do it on my own with like a cup or something. Do you have to like have a
Yeah.
special board or something? I don't know.
I mean, personally, I am very against Ouija boards, because you never know who you're
Why?
actually gonna pull through. I mean, because you never
Oh,
know if you're gonna contact somebody else, you know, and what if it's,
oh,
you know, what if it's a demon or something? That's how that movie Paranormal Activity starts out.
that sounds weird.
Yeah, but I
I don't
mean,
know
I don't
about
know.
that.
I
That
personally don't
sounds
fuck with that.
okay. So maybe
But
like just,
I
I don't
think
know.
somebody who's qualified to actually handle that stuff, like, I mean, but the thing is, like, psychics, I don't really know what their deal is, you know, because most of them are fucking crackpots and scammers, but then again, they're taking advantage of people like us who believe in this stuff anyways, so.
I feel like you're kind of genuine. You sound like you know what you're doing.
I've just been doing this for a long time, so,
Right.
you know, I'm used to it now.
Okay.
But I've never actually tried to contact anybody. Have you had any other, like, is this the first time you've experienced, like, a spiritual presence? Or, like, have you ever, like, had, like, signs from the other side from other people besides your father?
You know, but like I gotta say that like dogs and cats, they look at me weirdly. Maybe they have messages too, but I don't know who they might be or what to say.
Do you think they're looking through you or behind you, or do you think they're looking at you?
I feel like they got something to tell me. I just never know what to say.
Yeah,
Maybe
I mean,
I'm just reading into it too much.
I mean, you could be, but then again, it's all healthy. I feel like as long as it's not delusional. If you think
Yeah.
that dogs and cats are trying to talk to you on a regular basis, then you know, it might be time to get on some medication or something. But other than that, I mean, there's no harm in actually trying to, you know, look into the deeper meaning of all this stuff.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe I can ask them too if they have any tips of how to talk to the birds because they're animals too, right? They know how to talk to birds, surely.
I mean, maybe the dogs know how to talk to birds better than I do.
Better than us. Us humans, what do we know?
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll let you know if I hear any messages. Thanks for your help.
Of course. Yeah, our line's always open, so please reach out anytime.
Thank you.
You have a good night now.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Well, Nightmare enthusiasts, that's all we have for you tonight. This has been the After Hours Halloween special with me, Peter Karlovich. Tune in next time for more stories of the unexplained. We look forward to hearing from you.